time?
I can, Your Honor.
You can or cannot?
I can.
Thank you, sir. In count one, you are looking at unlawful distribution of the controlled substance fentanyl. You're actually looking at the charge of unlawful distribution or possession, I believe. Let me just read it to you. That on or about the 31st day of January 2023 in Greenwood County, Kansas, you did unlawfully and intentionally distribute or possess with intent to distribute the controlled substance fentanyl in the amount greater than 10 but less than 100 tablets. You read approximately 72 tablets. Is that him making that noise, Missy, or someone else?
Is
What's up, Fort Nerds? Time to get served. It's your boy Phil. How you doing, guys? What's up? I put the poll up. The results are in. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do a hybrid. I'm going to be the first channel known for the top 5 daily clips of the day. I'm going to do a short clip run of the top 5. All right? Then when I get the new overlay, we're going to have polls. We're going to poll and we're going to vote on who had the best clip of the day. You guys wanted me to change it up. So I'm tired of the same old LawTube stuff. So let's do it. So first clip up is Mr. Goggins. Mr. Goggins and the kids. He never disappoints. It's a lighthearted clip. It's Judge Goggins at his best. Let's get rolling.
5.
All right.
Yep,
Thank
that's
you.
it.
Have a good day.
All right, you're welcome. Thanks, you too. Bye now.
Bye.
Mr. Snidgen, you're all set too.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you. Bye.
All right, bye now. And let's see, Westwood Village versus Deborah Paulette.
good morning, Your Honor. Logan Mackinson on behalf of Westwood Village
You got an
and Oakley
associate,
and
too, it
Oakley
looks.
Most here.
Okay. Deborah Paulette. Oh my gosh, they're multiplying. Now I got
They're
200.
multiplying. Okay.
I have service by attachment. This was up last week. Deborah Paulette, anybody? Paulette, P-O-L. Nobody responding. Second time up. Ms. Mackinson, are you going to swear this out then?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, why don't you raise your right hand there for me? Do you swear from testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
I do. I'm familiar with the books and records for Deborah Paulette at 2396 Oakwood Drive in Flint. At this time, there's rent due in the amount of $1,180, costs of $499.41, total amount due $1,661.41, asking for a possession only default judgment, March 3rd, I believe.
Yes, yep, March 3rd. Yep,
Okay.
perfect. And let's see, how about Westwood Village versus Zachary Griffin?
That one's a
Zachary
dismissal.
Griffin.
He paid in full.
Oh, great. Dismiss that man. Gosh, I think that's it.
Hey, Bryson, turn that down. I'm so sorry, Your Honor. I don't know why they don't have school today, but they don't. So I'm doing it. Okay. Thank you so
All
much.
right,
I'll see you next week.
You too. Bye, honey. Bye. Bye. Not you, her, not the young one. Bye, honey. That'll get you in trouble. How about Meadowbrook Manor versus Ray?
That was great. That was great. Goggins is awesome. Number 4. Here we go. Number 4 is an update. Number 4 is an actual update we have. Do we all remember the clip that I had with the guy who threw the podium? Well, he's appearing for his arraignment today, and he's a little apologetic. We call number 4 the bench thrower update. Not very sophisticated, but it gets to the point.
4.
Okay, and once without any violations, all money is either paid in full or you make their face up return making full payment. The city of Wyandotte versus Gregory Gerald, 212214, 23265, 23296. Counsel,
Good morning, excuse me, Your Honor. I apologize.
or what?
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, John Gold.
3265, Mr. Gerald was in custody and arraigned on that matter. And then I don't know what happened, how he didn't get,
Your Honor, if I may.
oh, so then, okay, hold on. So then on February,
6.
I'm sorry, on the, oh, okay, so this, oh, because he threw the podium, if I recall correctly.
Or not.
I still apologize for that too, ma'am, like, it's
It was
still,
knocked over, I saw, yeah. Okay, so that's why he was not arraigned on that one on that day, so there, this charge originated from that. Okay, so counsel asked the arraignment on the 296 matter.
Your Honor, you was going to mute the charges, waive a formal reading of those charges, as if not guilty again.
All right, the court waived the formal reading, enter a plea of not guilty for purposes of the arraignment as to 23296. And then as to the pre-trials on these matters, counsel.
Your Honor, I've discussed this matter with Mr. Terrell. In fact, I went to the Wayne County Jail yesterday to meet with him to go over all these matters. And I've also spoken to the city attorney. To my understanding, Your Honor, that in return for a plea of guilty, on file 23265, which was public intoxication, as well as the plea of guilty to destruction of property on the matter that he was just arraigned on, which would be
23265 to 23296.
2396. Is that the case in 21? 21 case would be dismissed. I've discussed no process. I've discussed this with the prosecutor. I've discussed this with Mr. Terrell, and he wishes to avail himself of this opportunity.
Okay, Mr. Terrell, are you able to hear Mr. Gopal?
yes, ma'am,
Okay, so please raise your right hand. Solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this matter to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
yes, ma'am,
All right, and so you heard the plea that was placed on the record, correct?
yes, ma'am,
And as to the public intoxication from offense date of February 9th of 23, how do you plead?
guilty,
As to the malicious destruction of property from February 10th, how do you plead?
guilty,
You've gone over your advice of rights with your attorney, correct?
yes, ma'am.
And in fact, you signed that document, correct?
I have at one point in time, but not right now. I haven't but I have signed.
February 10th, you signed that, correct?
Yes, the day I
And you
was
understood
arrested.
all- Yes, and you understood all of those rights.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. By the way,
You also understand that by entering into a plea, you'll be waiving some of those rights, specifically your trial and appellate rights, correct?
yes, ma'am.
And you understand the possible penalty as a result of your plea in these matters, correct?
No, actually, I don't actually understand the possible penalty, but I do understand that I was guilty for the crime because I was drinking in public. Like, I was drunk. I almost got hit by a car. You know what I mean? Like, and then on top of it, I turned around and I came in. I was a little bit vulgar, you know what I mean? Then I pushed over the podium, which was kind of wrong of me. I apologize for that, and
Okay, so here's,
You got to give this guy credit, guys. If you saw that first clip, he was an angry drunk in the tank, and he's very apologetic now. I give the guy credit. This is a very positive update.
So, sir, the maximum penalty upon conviction on each of these matters is up to 93 days jail, $500 fine. It could be both, could be probation. But I just want you to understand what the possible penalty is. So now do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And knowing all that, do you still want to continue with your plea?
The thing about it is, ma'am, is can I explain? I just want to explain one thing before I actually, you know what I mean? When I was drunk, when I was under the influence, I felt like I was getting a charge that was thrown at me that I know I've already taken care of. That's why I acted the way I was acting. I just want to put that on the record.
You talking about the disorderly conduct from November of 21?
Yeah, like when I turn around, like somebody said it was January 22nd that I had already got hit with a charge, and then all of a sudden this came up, and January 22nd, I already taken care of those charges and I was already released. You know what I mean? That's the only thing, that's the only reason why I pushed over the podium, man. I'm telling the guys.
January 22nd of what year?
It was January 22nd of this year. They,
Okay, well, sir,
you had said that, and I got angry, and I said, "Can I please have personal bond?" Because I was trying to explain to you like that I just took care of that charge. I just got released on that charge, and then I ended up in on this one, and I was like, "Can I please have a personal bond?" And you said no, so I got angry and I pushed that over. That's all I was trying to say. Like, I would not have pushed that over if you could have tried to understand me back then. That's all, you know, like, I apologize. I'm not saying nothing wrong. I appreciate you listening to me and actually taking in what I have to say, you know, so thank you, you know.
you're welcome.
It's just, you know.
But you're welcome. I will say that I'm not sure where the January 22nd is coming from because I don't have any information regarding that date on any cases in front of me. There is one from December 2nd, I'm sorry, November 29th of 2021 that you had failed to appear for. So, for those, so that was the extra case that you had when you were here on February 10th. I do not have, just so you know,
Okay.
I do not have a January 22nd case. Perhaps that was already taken care of. I do not have that in front of me.
Okay.
So I don't know, where that was coming from.
And Your Honor, I believe that what he was talking about, and we had the same discussion yesterday, was that there was this prior one which he had no recollection of. That's what I think he was addressing.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Well, sir, you were in treatment at one point. You appeared off screen. I'm not sure really what that means from a clerk that entered that. But then you didn't appear, you know, during this a couple times for you, and you didn't appear. And so then there was a warrant issued. And then when you were in custody on the February 10th matter, we set that aside. So you hadn't taken care of that matter. If there was another matter, a fourth matter somewhere, then that may have already been taken care of. We don't have that one in front of the court today.
And we discussed that. Is that correct, Mr. Jarrell?
Yes, sir, but the thing that I'm under, the thing that can you please understand me for like just 1 second? What I've been being arrested for the past like time being, like it's been, I had retail fraud one time or 2 times, 3 times. I've had retail fraud 3 times in the past 4 years. And I've also had drunk and intoxicated probably about 4 times, maybe 5 times. It might actually be 6 times. And then I had a trespassing ticket 1 time. Like, I haven't had that many charges is what I've been trying to
2,
actually,
3,
you know what I mean? Like,
4,
let you know, like, I don't know what the other charges were,
6.
but I know like I was that charge right there, the one that I'm actually being brought in on the 21st, like the year 21st, like 21. I don't think I ever even committed that charge is what I've been trying to actually.
Mr. Jarrell, we've discussed this matter.
I know.
As part of our agreement here, that case is being dismissed. You understand that?
Yes, I understand that. Thank you.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
All right.
All right.
I'm just trying to help to where you can understand, you know what I mean? Like my side of the story, you know, like.
And the court understands that. Is that correct?
I do, Mr.
Thank you. I don't
Jarrell.
mean to.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so knowing all that, you want to continue with your plea?
Yes.
Okay. And so counsel, if you can please voir dire your client.
Thank you. Mr. Jarrell, back on December, I'm sorry, not December, in February 9th of 2023, were you in the city of Wyandotte?
February 9th, when?
2023.
What's up with his hairdo going on? It's like real thick in the back and losing in the front. I don't know. Maybe he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 haircuts.
2023. Yes. Yes, I
Okay.
was.
And at that point in time, did you come in contact with Wyandotte police officers because you were jaywalking and you were highly intoxicated?
Yes, sir, I was.
Got
And
jaywalked.
did you take a breath test at that point in time?
I'm pretty sure, but they also picked me up and then they brought me back to the area where I was supposed to be at too as well.
Okay. But you did take a breath test, and we would stipulate, Your Honor, that was greater than 0.10. In fact, I think it was 0.21. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir. I apologize, like, I'm sorry. All right. Thank you.
And then on February 10th of 2023, you were in the jail or in the lockup with respect to a particular matter. Is that correct?
Yes.
And did there come a point in time when you became mad or disorganized and threw or pushed the podium while you were being arraigned on the previous matter?
Yes, sir.
And you caused damage to that podium, is that correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
Defense is satisfied, Your Honor.
The court is also satisfied the plea is knowing, voluntary, and factually accurate. The court will accept your plea as charged to 23-.
And if you watch Wyandotte, there's always the bailiff. The bailiffs always look at the bailiff. If you always look at the bailiff cam he's always looking up. He must have the most strained neck at the end of the day. He looks up about 8 hours a day. Look, all we see is his forehead throughout the day. Every time they're live, his forehead. Like
296 and 23-265. The court will dismiss 212214 for the plea agreement. And for the nollie process, at the nollie process. And we will schedule this matter for sentencing on March.
Would the court consider immediate sentencing? Time, sir. He has been incarcerated since the 11th.
take a
Well,
step back.
although the court,
Take a step back.
given the multitude of cases Mr. Gerald has, the court would like to have a little bit more accurate picture of what's going on with Mr. Gerald.
Just asking, Your Honor.
And while Mr. Gerald will get credit for time served, I don't believe that would be the only sentence imposed.
Thank you.
So how about we adjourn this to March 7th?
Thank you. And Your Honor, what was the bond sentence?
Thank you, y'all.
You're welcome. Just one moment, sir.
I'm not trying to, I'm a little bit upset, but I'm trying to get over it,
Okay, well, make sure that you're not
thrower
damaging
update.
anything else, sir. You
I know, I hear you. I apologize. I didn't.
March 7th at 9:30. Bond is $5,000, 10% bond, alcohol tether through Wayne County Jail.
Thank you.
That's on the
DeSanto bomb.
23265, and so actually I need to set a bond on the 23296 bond. So case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to indicate $5,000, 10% bond,
Your Honor,
to be consistent with the other case.
would the court consider just a personal bond with the tether? I don't think he's going to come up with $500 anyway.
Well, he may not, but in the event there's some decision for administrative release, then I'd like to have both of these cases just to stay consistent, that's all.
Thank you.
All right, anything else? Okay, off the record, Wayne County Jail.
Okay. Next up, got to get Simpson in the top 5 daily clips. He's probably going to be a regular in my daily top 5. I mean, come on. This one, he catches a lawyer. Oh, man, he just schools a lawyer. It's just, he's not amused by him at all. Let's roll with the number.
3,
And then you had already exited your vehicle to get here. Okay. And the time will be accurate as far as 9:41 a.m. on December 5.
Somewhere around there, sounds about right. I don't know exactly to that minute or hour, but somewhere
Okay.
around that
Any reason to believe that your body cam has a delay?
time. I haven't ever checked to see if there is a hour delay or minute delay.
Okay. I am pressing play at 44 seconds. Okay. I stopped it at 1 minute and 3 seconds.
Mhm.
Okay. And is that correct, Officer Pearson? And that's when you first encountered Avion inside of that basement there, right? Okay. I am now fast forwarding to 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Do you recall this depiction?
I believe I had already escorted him out and I was walking back in.
Yes. I'm pressing play here. I can move forward. So this is you going into the home, correct?
Correct.
And if you, sorry, I moved it to 9 minutes and 7 seconds. This is you going back into the home to search, correct?
Correct.
Stopped it at 10 minutes and 21 seconds. And that's your words, we got a gun, correct?
I could barely hear, but it sounded like it. Yeah.
Okay, but you were there, right?
Yeah.
All right, and you had to manipulate quite a few items to find that gun, correct?
To get back to the wall, yeah.
There was a time when you and your officers were outside of the home and you were talking amongst yourselves, correct? Right. And there was a time where on video, there was a key fob with a Canton Public Library tag. And you remember saying, I forgot this was on Avion's person?
I don't recall. You could play it.
Okay. This video is titled CCW resisting arrest 9:59:44. Is that correct as far as the time? I can blow it up. Is that correct, Deputy Pearson?
9:59.
Yes. And at 1:47 a.m., I am pressing play. I stopped it at 1 minute, 57 seconds. Is that your words, Deputy Pearson?
I couldn't hear anything. There's no volume on my monitor or anything.
Is it possible I could, on mine, it just has mirror displays and extend desktop. I can hear it from here. How do I amplify the volume?
Presentation.
Is it possible I can turn up with the television? I'm sorry.
Do you have the volume on?
Yes. Okay, I think we got it. I am rewinding it back to 1 minute, 49 seconds. I am pressing play here.
Oh, I forgot. This was on this person. Avion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, was your words, Officer Pearson?
Yeah.
Okay. Now going into the home, as far as getting the keys from Avion's person, those keys don't show on any body cam, right?
Yeah, it was dark in that basement.
And what was taken from his pocket was actually Pacifica key to that black vehicle that you called a van, right?
Yeah.
And that goes to his mother?
I believe it was registered there.
Okay.
And then there was also the universal key fob.
That's right. Yes. One minute, Your Honor. And when you went back into the home to search in the basement, Avion was already in the squad car, right?
Correct.
And he was handcuffed behind his back?
Yes.
Judge, I don't have any further questions.
Any redirect?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you. You may step down. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any additional witnesses for the people?
No additional witnesses for the people, Your Honor, the people will rest.
Any witnesses for defense?
So, Your Honor, thank you.
Your motion.
Your Honor, this time people would move to bind the defendant over as charged
Here we
and
go.
counsel for the court. I believe that based on the testimony of Deputy Pearson, there's sufficient probable cause to establish the elements of these crimes and have the matter bound with this.
Response.
Judge, what we have here is that there was a fleeing and eluding, supposedly at around midnight, December 5. Then officers went to the home approximately 10 hours later, 9:45 a.m. To Avion's home. Avion went into the home. There was no type of order saying, police, stop, you're under arrest, anything like that. Just Avion come here with a quick glance over his shoulder, then went into the home. Officer Pearson then kicked the door in, went downstairs, testified that Avion tossed an object. He testified that he did not have to manipulate anything to get to this object. And we saw him searching for about a minute here on camera, which would be an impossibility from where Avion was to where the gun was found, that Avion had supposedly thrown that firearm.
Why would that be an
No,
impossibility?
I'm sorry?
Why would that be an impossibility?
Because we saw Avion's hands, they were at his side. There was no type of,
By the time they got down
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
there, by the time they got down there.
Yes, Deputy Pearson followed Avion.
But you would admit, counsel, that he had time in the basement.
No, I don't admit that. That's why I'm showing the video.
So your client had no time in the basement prior to the officers getting there.
Well, if Your Honor wants to say like 2 seconds, if you're,
Well, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying there was time in the basement.
so 2 seconds will count as time?
Are you hearing my question?
I do.
Then answer it. He was in the basement prior to the officer getting there, right?
Yes, he was.
So he had time in the basement.
Okay,
Proceed with your argument.
okay. So there was no search warrant obtained by any officers here?
On what basis would they need a warrant?
Because they didn't have a warrant to go into the home to do any searching.
There's a felon fleeing.
The fleeing happened about 10 hours prior. So there was time, there was no type of destruction of evidence that could be seen or possibly suspected here from a fleeing and eluding. There's no other type of saving of evidence in the home from a fleeing and eluding charge.
So are you indicating that when the officer arrived, he told him to stop? He knows that there was a felony committed, and then he goes into a place. He's looking to take him into custody. Are you indicating that they need a warrant to go in to get him?
Well, they need a warrant to search the residence.
I didn't ask you that. Do they need a warrant to go in and get him?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, counsel. We may as well get this done so I can be done with this, because I don't know what law you're operating on.
So what we have here is People versus Hammerlin, that an entry cannot be justified using hot pursuit where there's no evidence related to the arrest that could be destroyed. As far as that goes to the crux of my argument in terms of the trying to prevent any destruction of evidence from a fleeing and eluding charge, because it was already committed approximately 10 hours prior. It's a MSC opinion, this site. I can present the site, Your Honor. If Your Honor, give me 1 minute.
That deserves a Simpson bomb. He just got bombed by Cedric.
Oh man, here we go.
I don't know what that
16,
was.
2020 case, docket number 355120. Like I stated previously as well, for count 2, as far as receiving concealing motor vehicle, there was no type of keys ever found that goes to this particular Kia at the time of the search of Avion's person. Just like Deputy Pearson testified to, on the video, there is 2 keys that were on his person, which was a universal key fob to a toy car, as well as the vehicle that backed into the driveway, the black Pacifica.
Memberships.
Judge, with all that being stated, I ask that these counts be dismissed as a matter of law in the interest of justice.
Any response?
The only thing I would say is I very quickly found this Hammerlin case that involved a misdemeanor arrest.
I'm aware of the case. He just didn't.
Just for the record, Deputy Pearson was within lawful actions in pursuing the defendant and locating that firearm.
Court, upon hearing all of the testimony in the case and finding the testimony being very credible, while there may have been an issue with regard to the moving of items, what was clear is Deputy Pearson stated that he could see that a hand gesture had been made by this defendant in this case in a particular direction. And shortly thereafter, when he went back down, and it's important to note, when Deputy Pearson went back in, if one looks at the body cam, there were officers still present in the residence. So he's not like re-entering the residence after they had secured the defendant and went back in to see what contraband the defendant had indeed potentially disposed of. Based upon all of that and the testimony of the deputy, court would find that the people have sustained their burden and would bind the defendant over to stand charges on all 5. Well, actually, all 5 counts, which are the felony with the 2 misdemeanors. tagging along. But he's bound over on counts 1 through 5, 6, and 7. We'll go with it.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. That was brutal. Look, he's getting his stuff. All right, let's get the hell out of here. All right,
Counsel, you acknowledge you see the information waiver treaty?
Yes,
gotta
sir.
go. He gets his trapper
How's your
keeper and
client
get the
plead?
hell out of there.
Wait for being stand you.
Defendant never waives formal reading, standing mute to all 7 counts. Court will enter not guilty.
You know how there's a top lawyer that graduates top of his class, and then there's always the guy at the bottom. I think this guy may be at the bottom. No disrespect. I'm not a lawyer. It's a very difficult job, but there's always the bottom few. I think he may have been the bottom few.
Plea. Pretrial will be set for either one. Just give me one. He's gonna need a transcript. Sorry. March 7. Pretrial March 7, 2023, 1:30 before Judge Conkey. Bond will continue.
What is the defendant's bond in this case?
All right, here we go. Here we go. Number two.
If so, please say I do.
Okay, so this is a PPO type case, and man, we everyone knows him. He's like the teenage magistrate, and he actually refers to that he's he looks like he's a teenager in this clip. But this inmate is whoa, so he definitely gets the number 2 clip of the day.
2.
I do.
All right. Thank you both. All right. The case that we have before us today is Walters versus Walters. It is 23 PO 1622. This case was filed with the clerk around and file stamped in on or about February 2nd, 2023. Excuse me, that was the ex parte protective order. The petition was filed on or about January 26th. The ex parte order was issued by Judge Sabrina Scott of this court, sitting by designation. And then that order was served on Mr. Walters, according to the entry of service on or about February 8th, 2023. Mr. Walters, do you recall being served those documents by the sheriff?
Yes, I was served them documents by the sheriff on February of 2023. Yes, I was at home, but being served them paperwork, I was the victim because I had called prior to that.
We're not here to discuss that yet. Right now, I want to make sure that you understand.
He doesn't stop. He doesn't stop interrupting.
When they gave you that protective order in early February,
I left the property.
Okay, and that was February 8th that they served you.
Yeah.
And so you understand that right now that order is still in effect. Is that correct?
So far I do until I talk. See, I'm supposed to be talking to Mr. Scott on the 21st. They didn't say I was talking to you. I supposed to have a case. I supposed to see her.
What makes you think you would be talking to a Miss Scott?
Because on the protection order, it says that I would have to come and appear before her for her to decide if this whatever my wife told me, was containing for me leaving home. When my wife knows that when I called the police officer out there, they made me the victim. My wife violated the last TPO she had.
Well, Mr. Walters, let me jump in here. The protective order you have says appear before this court. This court is the Superior Court of DeKalb County. Judge Scott, myself, and about 24 other judges all sit by designation for protective orders and protective order related issues. What I can tell you is Judge Scott handles ex parte hearings, which are the one-on-one conversations with petitioners who file.
He definitely takes off his robe and is wearing nothing but a one-piece overall, without a doubt. No underwear, no nothing. He just takes his robe off, has his overalls on, hops right in his pickup, and goes home.
I am one of the judges who handles 12-month hearings, which is what we are in right now. And so you would not come to see Judge Scott for a 12-month hearing just by happenstance. She does not sit for those cases. I happen to do both. She does not. It's some of that is scheduling and availability. Now, the way that we're going to move through this hearing, Mr. Walters, it is Miss Walters' burden of proof. So she will go first. She will present her testimony and make any statements she wishes to make. From there, if you have questions that you think the court should ask her, you can suggest questions, and if I think they're appropriate, I will ask them. If I think they are inappropriate or unhelpful, I will not ask them. Furthermore, when she has rested, you will have the opportunity to make statements or present evidence if you choose to do so. But I want you to be aware that right now you are facing criminal charges that involve this same petitioner, and that the testimony you give in regards to these issues could be used against you in the future. And so I want you to factor that into the decision-making for how you go through the rest of this hearing. Now, I have sworn in both of the parties. Miss Walters, I'm going to start with you. You and Mr. Walters were DeKalb County residents at the time you filed. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And were you two still married?
Yes.
All right. Now, and did Mr. Walters have a bond condition even prior to this current arrest?
Yes.
Do you know what the original charge was for that?
What caused it?
Like what he was charged with that got him in jail with a special condition?
Violating a 12-month TPO.
Okay, I know that's what he's in jail for now. Is that because a different charge besides this one?
No. He has another charge of aggravated stalking, and also he had pulled a gun out on my son when he brought me home from the hospital.
And what did he do that resulted in him being charged with aggravated stalking?
What did I do?
What did he do to get charged with aggravated stalking?
He came to the house doing another TPO. And that evening, for somewhere another, they arrested him. And they explained to me, after you violate the TPO twice, it turns into an aggravated stalking or something of that nature. He has, I think it is 5 open cases with DeKalb County, with the district attorney, Miss Brim, and Judge Alexander. So I really don't understand that. And they took all the information this time from the witnesses and everything, my neighbors, and they have all that information up in the office now. That was submitted by the neighbors, and the phone calls off my phone.
So to the best of your knowledge, have you at any point received any special conditions bonds that accompany his trips to court, that tell him, for example, to stay away from you or your home?
Have I have did what?
Do you know if there are any any special conditions bonds attached to those criminal cases that you reference?
None that I know of. Only thing I know, if he had those bond conditions of staying away of at least 100 yards, and pretty much that was it. And Judge Alexander was very clear and very to the point as far as him coming back to the premises And because twice he had helped himself and came in the house unannounced, just broke right in the house and came in the house unannounced. And other than that, there was nothing that I can think of that they don't have on record. They have all that information on record.
So he was arrested for, obviously, for this incident that we're here for now. The other arrest, the most recent arrest before that you're referencing, was that around summertime?
He had violated the TPO, the 12-month TPO. And he doesn't listen to anything when it goes on paper. He doesn't do what the court tell him to do. He actually needs counseling of some type of something. And I kept telling them that because prior to this, he was documented on paper as having a drug problem. And Judge Gordon, he had already reprimanded him to 30 days in-house up at Black Bear. And then when he came out, she had also sent him to Peachtree Hospital for a drug analysis, some type of a detox type of thing. And it's just been crazy going forward. And this particular time, he was losing his mind. He was hallucinating. And they have all that information and from the neighbors, the witnesses on file at the office of the DeKalb County DA, Ms. Brim.
So has he come to your property without permission or in violation of a court order?
Against the court order several times.
Can you estimate how many times, let's say between 2020 and now? So that's about 3 years and a little extra.
At least 5 or 6 times.
And has he been arrested 5 or 6 times as a result as well?
Yes, you can look on the record and you'll see it.
All right. When was the last time that he was physically violent with you, like hitting, pushing, kicking, shoving, anything like that?
Yep. I got away from him this time because he was acting like he was hallucinating in his mind. So I left the house.
Okay. Has he damaged any of your property, like broken windows or a car or anything like that? I'm asking her, sir. I'm not asking you. You'll have your turn.
He didn't break no windows or anything, but when he helped himself into the house before, he jimmied the lock and came in the house and damaged the door a little, but I got it fixed. And this particular time, he was like, he must have been real paranoid because he had done screwed the doors and everything shut, like somebody was chasing him or something. I don't know. And there was another time when I wasn't home, he kept calling the DeKalb police, and the DeKalb police called me. I had left and gone to my son's house, and they called me that Sunday morning, and they asked me, was I married to him? I said, yes. They asked me, did he have a problem? Did he have a mental problem or a drug problem? I said, yes. And they said they were trying to take him to the hospital, and he refused to go because he was acting like off base crazy or something, that he wasn't being 100%. And he refused to go. I gave the police report to Ms. Brim and them. They have all that information in DeKalb County. They have the police report and everything there. And this particular time when I took out this particular TPO was because he was acting like he was hallucinating, seeing and hearing things and saying I was in the house with somebody and I wasn't even there. And the police came out twice, the 4th precinct, and the neighbors asked what's going on. She told them, said, he's been out there hallucinating all day. They said, we know it. And said, we can't do nothing about it. She's going to have to take out a TPO. She's not in there. Then he was saying, look at them running, and there was nobody there. And he was just howling and swinging a real big piece of wood and had the garage door open like somebody was in there. He was talking to himself real loud. And this particular time when they arrested him, this time he was out on Rockbridge Road, loud and hollering, and the police officer said, he's not far away enough. He says, let me call my sergeant. So they called this sergeant, and I don't know what happened. They said, well, we're going to go over there now and take care of that, because the TPO, the bond conditions say he should be at least 100 yards away. And I could look right across the street at the other house and see him. And you could hear him yelling real loud. I don't know what he was saying. It was horrible. He was like he was losing
let me turn to him for a moment here. I'll see if he has any questions
Oh,
he thinks should be
boy.
asked. I might or might not agree to ask them.
Oh,
Mr. Walters, keeping in mind that if you choose to testify, you'll have the opportunity to do so later. Do you have any questions that you want me to ask Miss Walters that you think would be helpful to deciding this case?
Yes, ask my wife, why did the police officer come out? Why did the police officer tell her that she violated the TPO?
I'm going to rephrase that. Has a police officer ever told you that you violated a TPO, Miss Walters?
No.
All right. She doesn't agree that that happened. So you can talk about your version of those events when it's your turn. Do you have any other questions for this witness?
Ask her, why did the police officer tell her about the adultery when I was up at QT waiting on the police officer to come back from the house after I came
She
home?
can't really speak to why the police did anything. She's not a mind reader. And so,
Well, the police, I got a police report.
okay, well, you can tell your version of things later, but right now I need to make sure you don't have any other
Go ahead,
questions for Miss
She don't
Walters.
remember. She don't remember. So I'm gonna let that go.
Okay. All right. Well, Miss Walters, we're going to say that you have rested at this time. Did you have any other witnesses who you intended to have testify on your behalf today?
The only thing I can say is that the DA office has all the witness information that they collected from the witnesses.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn to Mr. Walters.
get ready for Mr. Walters.
Mr. Walters, as I mentioned earlier, you have a choice of whether to testify or not. Do you know what you would like to do?
Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and testify.
All right. Well, you've already been sworn in. What would you like to tell us today?
All right. Yes, I had a TPO charge. Mr. Turner, pre-trial, was my probation officer for me to report to every Monday. I reported to him every Monday about what was going on with the case. I told him my wife had came back and took me back home. I'm back at home. I'm paying bills. I'm fixing up my house, cleaning my house back up. Because the house, my wife can't do too much now because she's got Alzheimer's. Yeah, she is seeping in. Even the doctor told me that when she caught the COVID, I was under the TPO then. But I took the risk by going home to take care of her. Even when I was on the TPO, and she was glad to have me there. Then when her son came home with her that day, I had the van. The whole week the whole 2 weeks she was in the hospital, I had the home. I was working. Her son came home and threatened me in my house, threatened to do bodily harm to me. That's the reason I picked the firearm. Her son is 3 times my size. You know, so you in my home and now you threaten to hurt me, and I'm here with your mother and I'm helping your mother, taking care of your mother. Yes, I did pick him. I picked the house. We have a house weapon for protection. I picked it up. I escorted him out of my house. I didn't go behind him out the door. I just made him leave my home. And I put the weapon back up. Then, from that case there, the judge said that I was in violation, but she asked my wife, was my wife coming back and forth and get me? My wife told her no, but she was. My wife purged herself 5 times. They got my wife for perjury 5 times. In this whole case from 2019, when it first started.
So from what I'm seeing in the jail records, Mr. Walters, it looks like you've been arrested 7 different times in the last 3 years for either violating a protective order, aggravated stalking, or something similar. Is that right?
I was arrested more than that. They
I'm
just
sorry?
I was arrested more than that. They let me go because they found out my wife was lying. My wife was telling them lies that I was hurting her.
7 times? I was arrested even more than that.
Or doing something. I never touched my wife as long as I've been married to
Well, I mean no disrespect to her saying this, but I think it's important to say, even if the things that you're saying are correct, do you understand that she can't decide to let you violate a court order on her behalf or at her request? And I'm not saying she did, but
She didn't decide. It's that what happened was that she told me she's gonna take it in. All right, I fall weak, I go home, I do the problem. I'm the one that cut down the tree in the backyard. After I cut the tree down, the next day she went and told the police that she came on the property and found me there. After I cut the tree down, they arrested me that time. I put the water line in the front where the whole water line had ruptured on our home. I redid the whole water line. After I did the whole water line, she called the police the next day, had me arrested. Said she came home and found me on the property. But she comes back and get me every time. She caused me to lose 3 rooming houses where I was staying because she kept coming to the rooming house causing trouble. So I went back home. Now I caught my wife in 2019 in adultery. That's when she first took the TPO out. And every year she's been taking one out on me.
all right. Now you're talking about stuff at this point that happened
But this is
more than 3 years ago. You're talking about last decade.
It's the same case. All of it is the same case. It started in 2019. It's the same case. The stalking charge, they gave me that just to hold the warning. I was in Union City working for Carolina Towing, one of the biggest towing companies here in Georgia. I was working for the owner himself. I don't even know how I got a stalking charge.
If you're working for a company, aren't you working for the owner? He said he's working for the owner himself. Wouldn't he be working for the owner?
But I never even came back to the house until they put it on TV saying that all misdemeanors, nonviolent, are being dismissed from the state of Georgia. I had a nonviolent crime.
Okay, do you understand that that's not true? I need to make sure you understand that.
Yeah, what's not true? About that,
There is nothing going on about nonviolent misdemeanors being dismissed automatically.
2020, they dismissed all misdemeanors in the state of Georgia because they couldn't trial them all because of the COVID.
Mr. Walters, I'm going to be real clear here.
You said that wasn't true?
Absolutely not true.
All right,
And
well,
I'm saying this as a person
I
who
called
works
the
in,
city, and
listen
they
to
told
me,
me.
Mr. Walters.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Thank you. All right. I put this robe on 6 days a week. I've been doing it a while. I
Okay.
would like to think my face doesn't look like it, but I was doing it before 2020. And before that,
Okay,
I was
well,
working
when
in county government. See, it's
I
real
called the
hard.
police,
I'm
and they
trying to,
arrested me for stop.
oh, Mr. Walters. All right. I'm trying to
That's how I
talk.
got to
I'm
stop.
trying to do it slowly and I'm trying to be thorough because it's important to be accurate when you can be accurate. I'm not saying you didn't hear what you're saying you heard, but what I'm telling you is what you heard was wrong. I'm telling you that there are loads of cases from 2020 and before that are still open in the justice system or have resulted in whatever results they came to in the justice system. There is no automatic dismissal. There were some changes made to how easy it was to get a bond, but that is not disposing of the case. That just means you have to come back to court later and you're not in custody when you do it. But it concerns me because these misunderstandings, these misconceptions, these incorrect beliefs that you have, what they do is that they separate you from the world the rest of us are living in.
It's what's my wife doing. She asked me to come back home. I go back.
Do you understand that as far as I know, she's not a judge who can void a court order?
Yes, I do. And I told the judge that. I told the judge, this home, my wife can't do it anymore.
Okay, so even in a world where we would say that Miss Walters called you and asked you to come home or told you to come home, I want to make very clear
it's on me to do
that that's not okay.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
not
only,
saying that's what Miss Walters did. I know that's what you're saying she did, but
but she violated. So since she violated, they told my wife that it was okay for me to be at the house. The police officer told her and me in front of each other. So what happened was I went to work the next day and came home. Lord be behold, my wife didn't even see me come in the house. She had this young boy in my home, in the dining room, and giving the boy oral sex. I eased back out the door and called the police officer.
Wait, what? I forgot. I didn't hear that one before. Did you hear that? Okay. You heard that. She was giving some young boy.
So when the police officer came out, she even admitted it to her. She admitted to the police officer.
all
So
right.
I left it alone. I left it alone like that. My wife, they told my wife, did she have anywhere to go? She said, yeah, I'm going to my son's house. I told my wife she didn't have to go anywhere. I'm still gonna press Beasley Act, which I have proof on the video, home security. Beasley Act, plus she gave me hepatitis C, plus I'm getting for abandonment, for putting me in jail. I already filed the paperwork on her. They just haven't served her. She's supposed to be in jail now. Because I am going to divorce.
I'll be honest. I would be surprised to see that come to pass, but
I am going to
Hey.
divorce, but I caught her 4 times in adult. Even with my best friend, Sean, right down the street, I walked up on his house. She was right there at his house. His mother told her to get out of his house. That's, you know how bad you hurt
well,
me.
it sounds like you dispute the circumstances about how you came to be in the location on these times, but it doesn't sound like you really have much of anything to say about the fact that you were there. And in fact, I think you've acknowledged it.
I was there because she told me to come there and put some that young boy she was dating out of her home. Even I got a witness, Tracy. There's a white girl that she knows named Tracy.
Tracy, the white girl, saw his wife giving the young boy and hepatitis C and bronchitis and caught the COVID.
She called Tracy's house and told Tracy to bring me there. All right, when Tracy brought me there, instead of me going there to the house, I went to my friend's house at the corner to where he stayed. Because I was going to get him to take me to the hotel, but little do I know, she took all my money. She stole my money.
All right. Well, Mr. Walters, what we've covered in the course of your testimony today is by your own admission, an array of incidents where you admit to violating existing court orders. And what that boils down to,
The judge already threw that out.
it is super weird that you continue to talk when I'm talking, Mr. Walters. Usually when the judge is talking, people stop talking.
This has been doing this to me for 5 years. So how do you think I should feel?
Well,
Over and over, constantly, every
when you
year.
have a court proceeding, the first way you should be is capable of participating in that proceeding. And you do that with an open mind and open ears. Because even when I try to explain things to you, Mr. Walters, I get about half a sentence in, and then all of a sudden you're going again. And it makes it very challenging. Like right now, as I continue to talk and you continue to talk.
I'm sorry about that, but you let her finish, but you can't let me finish. Because I'm going to get to the point what's really happening with this whole case. If you listen to me explain of what my wife is doing, she's talking about delusional. I'm not delusional. I'm very sane.
Mr. Walters, I've listened to you make blatant, factually inaccurate statements about both fact and law during this hearing. I've listened to you talk over me repeatedly. I've had you argue with me about who is being allowed to do what during this hearing, and I have tried to be calm and collected about it. But you have spent this hearing acknowledging that you were at the home in violation of court orders. You just are arguing that because you've done it at her request.
I was on the road. How did I violate? I was on the street. How did I violate a court order? When you gave me that protection order, I left the property. How did I violate? And I'm on the road. I'm over 100 feet away from the house.
It's
I'm
100
not even
yards.
in the cul-de-sac. I'm on
He said 100 feet. He goes 100 yards.
the road where they told the police officer came out. They got police report saying I could sleep there because she took all my money from me. I couldn't even get a hotel.
Okay. Well,
And the
based
police
on the
officer-
evidence that is presented by Ms. Walters, including the evidence that there have been an array of various court orders through the years that have ordered you to stay away from her and from the premises, the acts that you have undertaken that would be in violation of any or all of those or one at a time would constitute a trespass under the law, which would be sufficient for the continuation of this protective order. Based on that, I am going to extend the protective order with the provision that you receive mental health services and that you stay away from the home and from Ms. Walters and from her homework and school, and that you do not contact her for any reason. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Walters, do you have a question?
How you gonna
Yes,
stand
sir.
the protection order?
Your Honor, I was informed by the DA that I could possibly ask to extend the protection, the TPO today.
Well, it's being extended for 12 months, and then if you want it extended past that, you would file a request in writing, and we would schedule a hearing with the court after some time has passed.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
What can I do? What kind of charges can I do? I already took a briefly act charge on her, and I want it arrested for it. I already seen.
It appears that I'm not a co-host, so I don't have a mute button right now. So what I can tell you is that you can get a lawyer, Mr. Walters, and you should have one for your criminal cases. And so you can talk to them about your legal problems, and they can help you navigate the legal process. Unfortunately, what I cannot do is give legal advice from the bench. I am a referee, and so my goal is to handle the dispute between the parties and settle the issues that are in controversy. And so that is what I will do. Mr. and Mrs. Walters, thank you both for joining us today. This order will be drafted and on file sometime later this week. Mr. Walters, just follow the deputy's instructions and they will get you back where you need to be as you await whatever court date you may have coming next. I suspect that will be a jail plea day, and if the calendar is anything like it was back when I was in the main courthouse, that might be on a Friday. So we'll see if that's still true or not, but I wish you both luck, and I hope this helps you both moving forward.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
On any other day, that would have been the number one clip. But the DDC produced the number one clip of the day. I sampled it on a YouTube short today because I had to get it out there. But man, do I have a doozy. If you don't like cussing, get out of the room.
One.
Number one.
And without some type of bond or monetization, the court feels that you would treat it as you have it the same in the past and disregarded the court's orders. For those reasons, Mr. Signal, the court's also considered your ties to the community, likelihood of conviction, your lack of employment status as it relates to the ability to post bond. Very concerning is the safety of the alleged complainant in this matter. Amongst other things, it's alleged after you were asked to leave, it's alleged, sir, you produced a pocket knife, pointed it at the victim, stated, quote, "I will fuck the shit out of you and split in your throat." That very assaultive allegation, while in possession allegedly of a weapon on the individual's life, is concerning regarding that individual's safety. You have a number of cases history. So for those reasons, Mr. Signal, the court setting an unaffordable cash bond to properly protect the safety of the public as well as ensure your return to court.
This was already in December, man. They already dropped it. What
Okay,
are you talking about?
it's not ma'am, and I understand this was in December.
I was carrying a knife because they kept jumping on me up at the gas station for pumping gas. What is you talking about? How you don't got me on audio making no threats?
Sir, anything you say right now can will be used against.
Well, it will be used against me. If you want to use it against me, use it against me. And that was your attorney.
That was your
attorney. What? I don't have no attorney. Ain't no attorney, nothing. Well,
Okay, Mr.
whatever.
Signal.
Whatever.
Okay.
Give me free room and board. That's what I want. Nah.
Okay.
Okay. My
Okay,
name
Mr.
ain't
Signal,
no
during this
secret.
bond, there's no use, listen, please, no use of alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. Do not go to the area or premises of 3800 Connor Street, Detroit, Michigan. You will be fit with the GPS tether. If you're able to make bond, that will be under house arrest. You are not to go anywhere. You're to remain in your residency. And during this bond, no contact with Rose Burst. And that's no contact of any kind. No contact orally in writing through a third person at their place of residency, employment, or through any forms of social media. For those reasons, given the concerns the court has, bond is intentionally unaffordable, set at $10,000 cash, no surety. Anything further,
Good.
counsel?
I ain't got 10,000 cash, dummy. And you ain't getting shit out of me, bitch.
Okay, that's not very nice, Mr. Signal.
Bitch. I stay and eat dog salad, stupid bitch. Nah, I ain't
Okay,
giving
it's
you
not nice.
shit. Dumbass bitch.
Understood.
Nah,
Okay.
that was you threatening him. That was you threatening him. I ain't had nothing to do with it. I ain't even had
Okay,
no
Mr.
knife
Signal.
on it.
Okay, you're about to see another judge, sir.
My name ain't no Mr. Signal. Sorry, try again. My name is Devon Clark. Sorry.
Okay.
My name
Say
is
your full name
Devon
again.
Clark.
Okay, this is
Say your
case
full
22.
name again.
This is Magistrate Superior, case 22060-396, People State of Michigan versus Devon Signal. Okay, one moment. I'm going to. All right, this case 22060-396, People State of Michigan versus Devon Signal, also known as Devon Signal, Devon Signal, Devon Signal, Devon Signal. Appearance, please. Thank you. Court waive formal reading under plea of not guilty. Mr. Signal, the court's on this matter scheduling 2 court dates, sir. You have a probable cause conference via Zoom, February the 27th. That's a Monday, 8:30 a.m., 36th District Court in front of Judge Jefferson. Sir, you have a right to a preliminary examination, March the 6th. That'll be in person, Monday, March 6th, 8:30, Judge Jefferson. February 27th, which is a Monday, via Zoom. March 6th, which is a Monday, in person, 8:30, Judge Jefferson, 36th District Court. Not guilty, please enter anything as to the KPS fund.
On that bond, I would ask the court to give the personal law more by the court time before you change the bond at this time. Homes that he's dealing with, again, they'll suffer from mental illness and money for bond guarantee.
Thank you. You have a number of convictions. You have 2 convictions for bank robbery. You have a conviction for another felony carrying concealed weapon. You have a number of allegations. You have capious history. You have assaultive allegations before the court. You have a capious history on this matter. As stated, the court has no authority to change the capious. So the bond is going to be set for your failure to appear in front of the judge at 36th District Court on about December the 8th of 2022. A bond was placed in the amount of a $5,000 cash surety. That bond is going to be continued as set by the judge. During this bond, sir, no use of alcohol, no illegal controlled substance. You're not to purchase or possess a firearm or any dangerous weapon. And sir, you will be fit with a GPS tether if you're able to make bond prior to being released. You will not be able to go anywhere. You're to stay in your home. And this is unaffordable, counsel?
Yes, sir.
So the court is setting an intentional unaffordable bond redetermination hearing this Thursday, February 23rd, 2023, 9 a.m. for the Chief Judge McConicle at the 36th District Court. You can unmute that. Any questions, Mr. Signal? You can unmute your device.
I get free boom, room, and board in the stinking jail cell, and I smear shit in your mouth, bitch. I shut your whole ass.
Anything further, counsel? All right. All right. Give me a moment.
There it is, the #1 clip of the day. Did I deliver? I had to deliver. Come on, people. Give me the emoji, judges. Throw the fill emojis. That delivered. That delivered. Come on. Come on. The Law 2 God descended on time served today. He knew we were doing the top 5. Oh, boy. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do some honorable mentions. I have Judge Webster. I know a lot of you watch Judge Webster in the day, but she had some defendants today. So I'm just going to put her in the honorable mention category, and we're just going to watch her and love it. I'm going to skip through. There's no boring parts. There's this noise that she can't contend with, and she's talking over it. I couldn't believe she didn't stop. I think she had a defendant who just wouldn't leave her alone and just kept going and arguing with her. It was a fun-filled day with Webster. So flash those gangsta Webster emojis and let's get rocking and rolling.
Felony, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
In the process of moving
Okay.
to Haiti.
Friday and.
Okay, here we go. So first one.
You could be facing, depending on your criminal history.
So we're going to go with the first one. It's the defendant at the EXSO. She's just rude, obnoxious. Here we go.
Anywhere from 10 to 42 months in the Kansas Department of Corrections, commonly known as prison, and your fine could be up to $100,000. In count 2, the state is charging you with interfering with law enforcement, that is resisting arrest.
Oh, wait, I forgot.
By
Thank
an
you.
officer.
Oh, we got gifted memberships. I'm sorry.
Discharging his official duty. That is a level 9 non-person felony. And that means that if you were to be convicted, again, depending on your criminal history, you could be sentenced to prison. In this case, anywhere from 5 months up to 17 months. You could also, in both counts 1 and 2, be ordered to pay a $100,000 fine or less. In count 3, you are accused of battery on a law enforcement officer. In this charge, the state is alleging that on that same date of February 18th, 2023 in Greenwood County, you did unlawfully and knowingly cause physical contact done in a rude, insulting, or angry manner towards a county correctional officer, to wit Deputy Fisher, while he was engaged in his official duty. As charged, this is a Class A person misdemeanor. If convicted, you could serve time in the county jail as opposed to prison, and you could stay there up to a year and pay a fine up to $2,500. In count 4, you're accused of unlawfully possessing drug paraphernalia, specifically multiple smoking pipes, possessed with the intent to either store or contain or conceal, ingest, inhale, or otherwise introduce a controlled substance into the human body. This is called a Class B non-person misdemeanor. If convicted, you could serve up to 6 months in the county jail, and you could pay a fine up to $1,000. Because you are looking at felonies, you have the right to a preliminary hearing. That is for the court to have a preliminary look at the state's evidence to see if there's enough to find that these crimes were committed and probable cause that you're the one that committed them. Consequently, I will not be entering a plea for you today, but rather setting these over for that preliminary hearing. Before I do that, however, Ms. Maxon, I will ask if you intend to hire an attorney or apply for a court-appointed attorney.
Court-appointed, but may I?
Yes, please.
I don't get why am I being charged with those when I was honest and told them that I found them in the vehicle.
Well, this is why it's good to have an.
She has a Rosie O'Donnell look going on. Am I wrong? Rosie O'Donnell, orange is the new black look going on.
Attorney look at that and see if what you.
And I wasn't aware that it was Coke.
Okay, well, this is
I
why
thought
you
it
want
was
an
meth.
attorney. Okay, your attorney will
Crack out
probably
one, maybe.
say, don't say anything until I talk to you. Because the attorney's not wanting you to say something that could be used against you later. But that attorney will definitely help you address those questions. and you'll be entitled to ask them at the more appropriate time. But at this point, I have to ask you a few questions about your financial situation. Are you employed?
Negative, I am on disability because I have PTSD, multiple brain mental problems.
Okay.
And that is why I hit the officer, because I was triggered and I was not thinking.
Okay.
I seen a man coming at me and that was the first instinct.
It's kind of like that entitled attitude she has that, you know, it's like I saw a man coming at me, so I punched him in the face.
How long have you been on disability?
Since 2014,
Very well. And how much do you make per month on disability?
approximately 800.
Do you have any other sources of income? Any kind of
Negative.
No savings or retirement or anything like that?
Negative.
All right. And where do you live? What town?
Iola.
Do you live with someone?
Husband.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Currently homeless.
Okay. I will find that you do qualify for an attorney, and I will appoint an attorney. I will need you to
No intentions of doing that, ma'am.
All right.
Like I said, I found it under my seat. I had gotten the cigarette pack from a friend. I didn't know that was in there.
The feed, guys.
All right. Well, you may have a defense, so make sure you get a hold of your attorney as soon as you can. And remember how I told you to get a hold of your attorney? The deputy there at the county, Missy, can you just contact the county jail if she's still there and give them the information
Yes, I will get it to them.
as soon as you have, okay?
Yes, as soon as I have it.
And deputy there at the jail, I don't know how your practices are, but if you could, if you've still got her down there on Friday and you can help her arrange.
So right about now, we start to hear this noise, and I don't understand because Webster usually would like stop. She's got the authority. She stops court. She's not the one to talk over stuff. So she was very patient with this noise. It was so funny. It's just so funny, guys. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Your way to get a hold of her attorney.
We'll figure something out, man.
All right, thank you, sir. I do appreciate that.
No,
All right,
that's
anything further we need to address, Ms. Maxon, before I let you go?
I do not believe so, Your Honor.
All right, anything further from the state, Ms. Gillette? All right, we'll be in recess then, and you are returned to the custody of the sheriff.
Your Honor, what was her case number?
Court case number is GW for Greenwood -2023-CR-42.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right, we're in recess. And the lady at the Greenwood County Jail, what is your name, please?
My name is Sandra Medina.
Sandra Medina.
Judge, they were pulling her driving record for me.
Per month?
We're gonna skip over Sandra Medina. We're gonna
You'll
go.
talk to your attorney and are ready to go.
Boring.
Come from the county attorney's office.
Here we go.
Roscoe?
Eureka.
Okay, here we go. The defendant.
Judge, what date did you
underneath
say?
Webster.
March 31st.
Here we go.
So I misunderstanding on my part, but I did send in my diversion papers. She should have it.
Well, you do know that the 16th was 9 days ago, and you do know that the day you were supposed to be here was more than that, right? Like about
Yeah, I called her last last Wednesday to confirm that I sent in my papers for diversion. And like I said, it was my fault. I had the wrong date put down on my calendar for court date. I had the 16th and I guess it was the 3rd. So
Well,
that's my mistake.
Well, but my point is, this isn't just a little, oops, I missed an appointment somewhere along the way. You were supposed to be here. You realized on the 16th you missed it, and you still didn't come in for another 9 days. And who is it that told you to turn yourself in? Are we talking about someone from the county attorney's office?
Yeah, I had work and stuff, and my last day was yesterday because I'm in the process of moving, and I told him I could turn myself in today due to work.
Okay, well, it just makes me a little disgruntled when folks decide that they don't have to honor court appearances, and when they don't honor court appearances, they decide when they want to turn themselves in when it's convenient to them. So Ms. Gillette, is she accepted into your diversion program?
She has returned her application with the application fee. She will need to stay in contact with our offices to complete the actual diversion agreement and make her payments. And she did also send us her new insurance. It wasn't at the time, but she got insurance sent so that she could qualify for diversion. She has returned her paperwork. She just sent it in late.
Well, her first appearance was September 20th of 2022, so it's taken her about 5.5 months to get her paperwork in, and she hasn't even signed the contract to be started.
My finances and stuff was hard, tight.
Ms. Carrasco, I'm having a little bit of trouble here because it feels to me like you're not understanding the seriousness.
How many times have we watched Webster? I have never seen her take her glasses off in frustration before. She's never done that. At least I've never seen that.
Of your situation, August 23rd of 2022. How long ago has that been?
Just a few months. I know, I just had a whole bunch of, I have no excuses for my.
Well, when I think of a few, I think of two. August, let's count these together. August to September, October, November, December, January, February. It's been 6 months. August 23rd, in 2 days, it'll be a full 6 months. 6 months to get your finances in order, to get your application for diversion into Miss Gillette. You've been here several times. We've talked about this. We were here September 20th of last year, August 4th of last year. Both times you told me you were applying for diversion. We came December 16th, but you still hadn't applied for diversion. 3 hearings and you hadn't applied.
Yeah,
February 3rd came around and then you didn't even bother to show up. And now you wait till the very day of court to turn yourself in on your bond, and your new bond hasn't been set yet, because I told him not to set a bond until I saw you. All right, now I'll listen to why we're still here and this hasn't been resolved by now.
It was just with my finances. Me and the guy I was seeing, we split up. My daughter lives with me. The work I was at, job was slow. I worked at Pitt Plastics. That's why I'm in the process of moving, is because finances was really tight for me. I was waiting for my taxes and stuff, and I was just it was just wrong, just finances and everything all in together. I have no excuses for.
You're full of
But
excuses.
It was just mainly finances and trying to get on my feet and separation from my significant other and just everything all at once. I was trying to do everything.
Well, if you realize I don't have to grant you a continuance.
Yeah, I know.
You know, maybe Ms. Gillette will still grant you diversion, but I don't have to grant you a continuance. This thing has dragged on for 6 months and it shouldn't have dragged on nearly this long. So what are you asking me to do for you today?
I do want the diversion and I am sorry for dragging it on and stuff, but like I said, it really was my finances and work and everything. And
Your finances kept you from coming to court? Your finances kept you from applying for diversion for 6 months?
yeah, because I pay rent and I pay my car payment.
Well, I think everybody does that, and most people do. All right. I am going to grant you, and I don't want to do it, but I will grant you one more continuance, and I'm only doing it because Miss Gillette wants to give you another shot at that diversion. Missy, do we have something in 30 days?
See, she was soft. She's soft today. She's soft.
Yes, how about March 17th at 11?
March 17th at 11. If you have any idea of what's good for you, you will have that diversion signed, filed, and taken care of by March 17th at 11.
Well, I'm in town today. If I have the address, I could swing by there and speak to her if I need to.
Well, I get the impression that everything in your life revolves around your convenience. Because you're in town, it's convenience. I'll go take care of it if I have to. I'll turn myself in today because it's the day of the court. I don't want to have to sit in jail. See, I'm kind of getting.
I live clear in Pittsburgh.
You live in Pittsburgh, but you could be here today. All right, now we have to talk about your bond. I haven't set your bond yet. You live in Pittsburgh? How long have you lived in Pittsburgh?
3 years.
And you don't have a job, or do you?
I had a job. My last day was yesterday. I'm in the process of moving to Hayes, Kansas.
Well, that's one extreme to the other, okay? One extreme part of the state to another extreme, okay? So where, do you have a permanent address set in Hayes yet?
No, it's with my ex-husband. Me and him got back together. My kids are going to be going to school there. That's why I'm moving there.
You mentioned one child a while ago. How many children do you have?
3.
How old is the oldest one?
She's 20.
How old's the youngest one?
16.
Is that one still in school?
Yes.
Does that one live with you or your ex-husband?
No, she lives with her aunt.
Oh, her aunt. And what, well, I just want to find out, how old's the middle one?
He's 18.
Is he in school?
Yes, high school.
Who does he live with?
The aunt. I went to Pittsburgh to go to treatment. I've been clean and sober for 3 years and stuff. And so I'm still trying to figure out what's being sober. Still trying to, yeah.
Trying to figure out what that means.
Yeah.
I'm going to set your bond at $2,000 cash or surety required. And your next court date will be.
See what you just mouthed? What does that mean?
March 17th at 11. You're applying for diversion, so are you asking for an attorney or not?
Yeah.
Okay, now those attorneys aren't free. You may have to pay them back based on your ability. Do you understand that?
Yes.
So do you want to hold off on the diversion until you talk to an attorney and see if the attorney thinks it's a good idea or not?
No, I do want to take the diversion, actually.
Well, if you're going to take diversion without talking to an attorney, is the attorney going to be able to really do anything for you?
What's up with the creep in the middle?
I don't know.
Well, I have no problems assigning attorneys when due, but I don't know why the taxpayer should pay for an attorney if you're already going to have diversion before you meet the attorney.
But then I don't need attorney.
Well, whatever you want to do, ma'am.
I just want to take the diversion and try to move on.
All right, well, okay. $2,000 cash or surety bond. Be back here March 17th at 11, and I'm not going to grant you any more continuances.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll be in recess.
Okay, next guy up. Here's where the sound effects. The guy's normal. He's just trying to hear out his case and see
All
what's
right, do
going
we
on.
have Miss Medina ready? Fine, up to 100. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Depending on your criminal history, your sentence could be 46 months up to 83 months in prison, and your fine could be up to $300,000. In count 2, you're charged with unlawful possession of a controlled substance, methamphetamine. If convicted of this level 5 drug felony, you could serve 10 to 42 months in prison and pay a fine up to $100,000. In count 3, you're accused of trafficking contraband in a correctional facility. The state is alleging here that you unlawfully and knowingly, without the consent of the administrator of the correctional institution, have in your possession unauthorized items, to wit, tablets. This is a level 6 non-person felony. There is no such thing. A level 6 non-person felony, and the sentence could be 17 to 46 months in prison. Your fine could be up to $100,000. Count 4, you're accused of possessing approximately 4.9 grams of methamphetamine. Anything over 3 grams requires a drug deal and tax stamp. This is a level 10 non-personal felony. Your sentence could be 5 to 13 months. Your sentence could be 5 to 13 months, and your fine could be up to $100,000. In count 5, you're accused of unlawful possession of a controlled substance, marijuana. Are you still hearing me okay, Mr. Holloway?
Yes, ma'am. I'm just writing this down.
Okay, I'm just wondering because I'm getting such a strange feedback. Count 5, unlawful possession of controlled substance, marijuana, for a first-time offender is a B, non-person misdemeanor. If convicted, your sentence could be up to 6 months in the county jail. Your fine could be up to $1,000. In count 6, you're accused of unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. That is, you're accused of having pieces of foil, zipper bag, a tutor.
Who is that? Who is that? We still don't know who it is. Which square is that? Take a guess. We don't know. It's not addressed. Webster just keeps going.
Meth pipe and bong. These items are considered drug paraphernalia.
And not to mention, this guy got caught with fentanyl, a bong, meth pipes. This guy was partying, and it's just the case is overwhelmed by that noise of a man sucking a huge straw, or someone possessed, or it's just something's going on.
If they're possessed to store, contain, conceal, inject, ingest, inhale, or otherwise introduce a controlled substance into the human body.
No, it's not
another
true.
Class B non-person misdemeanor. If convicted, you could serve another 6 months in the county jail. You also could pay another fine of $1,000. You're also accused of speeding 82 and a 65. This is called a traffic infraction. It does not carry jail time. It carries a fine. The scheduled fine for speeding 82 and a 65 is $87. In count 8, you're accused of driving against restrictions. If convicted for this offense, you could pay a fine up to $250, and you could have a 30-day driver's license suspension. Do you understand, sir? Or do you have?
Okay, Michelle, that's what I thought. But she asks him, if you caught the beginning, she asked him, "Is that you?" And he says, "No, it's not me." And so there's some noise coming from somewhere. That's why we couldn't find out. She asked him specifically, Mark, is that you? And he said, no, he's in his office. He's working. So that noise is definitely not coming from him. I don't know where it's coming from.
Any questions about what the state is saying you did and the possible penalties I've gone over with?
I understand everything that you've explained to me.
All right. And are you going to hire an attorney or apply for court appointed?
I'm going to apply for a court appointment.
Very well. Are you employed?
Yes, I am.
Where do you work?
Cheesecake Factory.
And is that 40 hours a week or more?
No, I work around 28 hours a week.
28 hours a week. Any other income or job?
No, that would produce a W-2. I deal in stocks. I don't know how to really put that down as a form of income, though.
Well, do you make money dealing in stocks?
To be honest with you, I'm not really.
Okay.
All right, so you think it's him? I may be wrong, but I was thinking something different. I don't know. It's got to be him then. I don't know, but it is an unholy sound, and it made me cry 2 times now.
So, how much do you make per hour at the Cheesecake Company?
$18.50 an hour.
Are you married or single?
I'm single.
Do you have any children that you legally support?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any other income at all?
No, ma'am.
And do you pay rent or a mortgage?
Yes, ma'am. I pay rent. My rent is $2,330 a month.
I stand corrected. You guys are always right.
Your rent is $2,380 a month.
2,330.
2,330.
Yes, ma'am.
And you work
Yes.
28 hours a week. Okay. And do you pay utilities?
That price is with utilities included.
Okay.
Making bank at the Cheesecake Factory. Small percentage. I wonder if he's
So are you
18
telling me
hours.
that your rent is more than what you make each month?
Yeah, typically I'm actually quite a few months behind. I haven't been able to make the full amount of rent in about 4 or 5 months. My landlord's just really, really kind. I'm looking at being homeless kind of soon, actually.
Okay, so you work 28 hours or 28 hours a week. You get
Correct.
paid $18.50.
Yeah.
Which is $5.18 a week.
Approximately after taxes, I believe it comes out to $4.73 on average.
Okay, all right. I just don't understand how you got in a situation where you're paying more for rent than you have coming in, but that's your business. I just need to find out if you qualify for an attorney.
Right.
And you don't have any other income.
No, ma'am.
What's your W-2 for last year say?
I'd have to look at. I didn't file taxes last year.
Because you didn't make enough income or what?
I was right at the poverty line.
Okay. All right. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you.
Okay.
Call Friday to my assistant, Missy, and she'll tell you who it is. Do you know how to get a hold of Missy?
Was she the one that emailed me the link
Yes.
for this meeting?
I think
Okay.
she knows what you're missing.
Yes, my
Okay.
number's on that email.
Okay. I will give that number a call.
check with her, and when she tells you who the attorney is, you contact that attorney so you'll be ready to go for your next hearing. Missy, when will that be?
March 31st at 1:30.
March 31st at 1:30. You'll need to be back here by Zoom with your attorney, and I doubt if we'll have our lab exams back by then, but we'll see which direction we're headed, at least after you talk to your attorney, okay?
Okay, cool.
All right, and.
Just to clarify,
Yes, sir.
that's the 31st of March at 1:30 p.m., correct?
Would you confirm that, please?
Yes, that's correct. March 31st at 1:30 p.m.
All right, thank you.
And Mr. Holloway, I see you've made your $20,000 bond with Florio, so I'm going to continue that with the condition that you reappear at the date and time given.
Of course.
All right, and if you change your address or your how we get a hold of you, make sure you let Missy know so we can always find you and let you know of any hearing changes or code changes or anything like that.
Absolutely.
All right, I think that'll take care of you for today, but I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Could you read me that case number again, perchance?
Yes, it is GW for Greenwood -2023, that's the year, -CR for criminal, now the technical one has 000031. But we can use 31 CR-31 and get it too.
Okay, and then.
And it's state of Kansas versus, and then your first, middle, and last name.
Yeah, all right. I think I have everything that I need. Who do I contact about getting the stuff out of my car and how I go about dealing with the whole seizing of my vehicle?
That would probably be the Greenwood County Sheriff.
All right, I'm sure I can find their number online.
Oh, Missy, why don't you give it to him if you have it? I don't have it memorized.
620-583-5568.
All right, that sounds awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, is there anything?
I don't have anything else, but you do. I'll answer it.
All right, no, I think I have everything. If you don't need anything from me, have a good day. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. You too, sir. You may go. Now then, is that Miss Medina back at the sheriff's office?
It is,
Or at the
Judge.
jail?
She wants a breakout room with me.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, gentlemen.
When he ran her license, it comes back out of New Mexico as revoked.
Okay, let's take a break from Webster. I got another gem out of Travis County. It is a gem. It is a gem. I always find the gems. You know that, guys. Let's do it. Let's do it to it. Just give me 1 second.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
All right, Calpita, Dave.
My judge is in Austin Hospital. She's a woman.
Miss Dave, you are charged with a Class B misdemeanor criminal trespass.
I'm trying to reach the judge. Can you call her?
Hold on a second.
He's so defeated.
Ms. Dave, you are charged with a Class B misdemeanor criminal trespass. Your bond amounts $100. However, I am willing to give you a personal bond if you interview with the pretrial services office, but they tried to interview you twice and you refused to talk to them or sign the paperwork.
I'm trying to reach a judge at Austin Hospital, but now these cops are over there.
What's that?
My judge is in Austin Hospital and I'm trying to reach her, but all these cops show up over there. That's not, The judges that I have is at Austin State Hospital. I wanted someone to call it, his caller over there.
Well, Ms. Dave, I am the judge right now, and I'm telling you that I'm willing to let you out of jail for free if you're willing to sign the paperwork promising that you'll come back to court. Would you be willing to do that?
How can I reach my judge at Austin State Hospital?
What's that?
I'm trying to reach my judge at Austin State Hospital. Reach her.
Well, I can let you out of jail for free, and you can go to the Austin.
Yeah, but all these cops showed up and kicked me out. I said, I'm trying to get to the Austin State Hospital. There's a judge at Austin State Hospital.
Okay.
You can call her, you can just reach over and call her. I don't know why you need to show up at Austin State Hospital. I need to reach the judge at Austin State Hospital. She's a woman, she knows which one I am. You just
Okay. All right. Well, then you don't want me to just let you out of jail. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. I want you to call the Austin State Hospital, reach my judge at Austin State Hospital. My name's Peter Dave. She knows which one I am.
Okay. So you don't want me to let you out of jail then?
No, no, no.
All
I'm
right.
trying to reach her. I have to reach her.
All right. Ms. Dave, your bond amount's $100. If someone comes down here with $100 in cash, you'll be released and you'll get your money back at the end of the case. If you do get out of jail, Ms. Dave, then you need to stay away from all UT campus property. Do you understand? You
Well,
can't.
I'm a UT student here. I mean, I graduated from UT and I'm trying to pick up my degree. This isn't. The lady at the building is waiting on me.
Well, you've been issued a criminal trespass warning. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to go on the University of Texas.
Your shirt down. Put your shirt down. Put your shirt down. There you go.
You're not allowed to go on the University of Texas campus. If you do, you're going to be rearrested, Miss Dave.
What do I have to do at the University of Texas? What do I have to do to Texas Lumber? Are you familiar with UT?
Yes. Do you want a court-appointed attorney or do you want to hire your own lawyer, Miss Dave? You want a free lawyer?
I need to hire my own lawyer.
You don't want a free lawyer to help you out?
Yeah, I want someone to talk to you. I need someone to help me out.
All right, I'm gonna assign a free lawyer to you. They're gonna come reach out to you and they can come talk to me about a personal bond. I'd be willing to give it to you today, but you said you're not willing and you don't want it. But
No, I want to talk to my judge at Austin State Hospital. I'm trying to
Put your
reach her.
shirt down.
I'm trying to her people.
all right. Well, make sure you show up for your court dates and stay away from the UT campus. Good luck, Miss Dave.
Come on, lady.
She loves being there.
Jasmine Crawford.
Yes.
Ms. Crawford, you're charged with a third-degree felony evading arrest in a motor vehicle. Your bond amount on that is $7,500. You're also charged with a state jail felony, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle with a bond amount of $7,500. Ms. Crawford, do you have friends or family that can help bond you out?
This is new to me.
Oh, sorry, what'd you say?
No one asked me to check anything.
Doesn't she look like the grandpa from Rick and Morty?
I'm just here to check my.
I didn't hear you. Oh.
I just have my list. That's okay. What's going on?
Hold on a second.
Get her name. Okay. I have it right here.
All right, Ms. Crawford, do you have friends or family that can help bond you out of jail?
No.
Do you have money that saved up to help bond you out?
No.
All right, I'm seeing in the comments, guys, about the YouTube algorithm. Biggin is right. What it is the more, so if you just click on the type of court videos and you type on and you click on, you go in my live streams and you go into Biggin's and you go into Mike's, you're more likely to see our videos popping up in your watch history. The algorithm is based upon the watch history now because it's catered more towards you, the viewer, and not the creator as much. Because the like algorithm wasn't, they had this big video Biggin was probably talking about. So what they're saying is it's in your watch history. So if you're watching court shows, if you're watching live streams, that's why you keep seeing our videos popping up. So it works both for us and the viewer.
Who do you live with?
My mom. She has a whole bunch of
How long have you lived in Austin?
my whole life.
And your family's been living here for your whole life too, then I guess.
Yeah, I'm born 82, so 39. Oh, yeah, 40. Yeah. But she speaks Spanish. Yep. All right, thank you for letting me know. I'm sorry, Judge. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just looking over something.
Okay.
And your mom doesn't have any money to help bond you out?
I don't think so. She gets social security, sir.
You understand you need to show up for all your court dates, Miss Crawford?
Yes, sir.
You've never been arrested before, is that correct?
No, I have not. This is my first time.
Are you working right now?
No, sir, I'm not working right now.
Do you go to school?
I'm not right now.
Well, what do you do all day?
Well, I kind of got into a situation with the addiction and it's.
You got a drug problem? You need some drug treatment?
Need some drugs? You got a Freudian slip.
You need some drug treatment, ma'am?
All right. Ms. Crawford, I'm going to do a personal bonds in your case. So your bonds are set at $7,500 each. However, I'm going to give you a personal bond on these cases and let you out of jail for free based on your promise to come to court. One of the conditions of your release, Ms. Crawford, is you're required to be screened for drug counseling. You can have a piece of paper telling you when and where to go to do that screening. You need to do the screening, then you need to follow their directions in terms of any classes or group meetings or anything that they require you to do. Do you understand that?
Sir.
You also are required to report to a supervision officer while your case is pending. So when you get out of jail today, you're gonna have a piece of paper with the name and number of a person that you need to contact within the next 24 hours. You need to call them, set up an appointment with them, and report into them whenever they require. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you want a court-appointed attorney or do you want to hire your own lawyer?
Court appointed.
Huh?
Court appointed, please.
All right. Do you have any questions?
Okay.
All right. Ms. Crawford, I know this is your first time in trouble. I encourage you to try to see what you can do to get the help you need in terms of drug treatment and things of that nature so that you don't come back here, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Good luck.
All right, go ahead and go back to your room and close the door behind you, okay? You'll be getting out in a few hours, okay? Good luck. All right,
Okay, here we go.
we're just gonna go down the hall. Yes, I'll let your officer.
Stay. Because I don't want that over my head, so can I please?
States, you have the right to request that we contact the embassy of your home country and let them know that you're here. Ms. Thibodeau, do you want us to contact the embassy of another country?
Not that I know of, so.
Okay. All right, Ms. Thibodeau, your bond amount on this theft charge is set at $200. Now, I'm willing to give you a personal bond for free if you're willing to sign paperwork of promising that you'll come to court when you're supposed to. Will you come to court if I let you out of jail?
Well, I would rather stay. Because I don't want that over my head, so can I please just stay until I see the court, please?
Okay, you don't want to get out of jail, and that's why you didn't.
I don't want the personal bond, because then I just need to be running around, and I would rather stay here in court. And I think my dad here too.
All right, your bond amount set at $200. If someone comes down to the jail with 200,
I feel for this lady. She's definitely got some mental stuff going on. And they're really kind to her. I mean, it's probably rough out for her on the streets. You know, I mean, it's one thing to poke fun and everything, but this, she's got some stuff going on. She's definitely got some stuff going on.
you'll be released and you'll get your money back at the end of the case. If you do get out of jail while your case is pending, Ms. Thibodeau, you are required to stay away from the CVS store at 2420 Guadalupe Street. You can't go within, you can't go on the property of that CVS store. Do you understand that? All right, do you have any questions?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Thibodeau.
Good luck.
You're welcome, sweetie. This one's gonna be a peach.
All righty.
Innocent.
Oh boy. doing another field trip like we did last time, Judge. So this is David Howell. This is another one of the Attorney General guys.
Hey,
Yes, ma'am, he can see you. Well, because he's talking to somebody, but once he's looking at the computer, he can see you, okay?
all right. Linda DeLon. Miss DeLon, I'm Judge Figueredo. I'm here to explain your charge, your rights, and your options on how to get out of jail, okay? You're charged with a Class A misdemeanor false alarm.
What? I can't hear you.
Yes, you can.
I couldn't hear what you said, sir. I didn't hear what you said.
You are charged with a misdemeanor false alarm or false report to a police agency. Now,
What kind of misdemeanor is that?
it's a Class A misdemeanor.
I didn't commit this crime and it's not a Class A misdemeanor.
Well, it is a Class A, but you could talk to your lawyer about your side of the
I don't have an attorney. I don't have money for an attorney. I've been put through prisoner abuse here before, and I don't want to be put through that, sir. I'm not guilty.
Okay, well, talk to your lawyer about it.
I don't have an attorney.
Well, would you like a free lawyer to help you out? I'll give you.
It's not a Class A misdemeanor. Report, I did not.
Would you like a free lawyer to help you out? I'll give you a free lawyer.
I want to be out on a PR bond because I'm not guilty. I've been put through prisoner abuse before, and it's not a Class A misdemeanor. I did not report false report. I did not.
All right. Do you want?
I have mental health problems, and I've been used here before, and I don't want to be put.
All right. Do you want a?
I think they're probably taking care of her in that jail. You could tell they definitely taking care of her. She's got a lot of stuff going on.
Do you want a lawyer?
I'm not doing this to poke fun. I just find it interesting about the mental health crisis and that these jails, they have nowhere to put them. In my area in New York City, they're just out on the street. I don't even like to take my daughter into New York City anymore because it's dangerous and it's not their fault. They really shouldn't be out on the streets. It's sad.
Miss
I want a PR bond because I don't want to be.
No, well, you're not gonna get a PR bond until we can get you evaluated by someone to
Why
make
am I charged with a Class A misdemeanor with not?
Hey, Davis,
Yes, sir.
let's go ahead and go off YouTube because this is more of a mental.
Yeah, he even wants to cut the feed. All right, here we go. I found a classic. I know some of you have seen this before. It's from about 6 months ago, but I just found this. This is one of the ones that got me really like addicted to LoveTube. It's just so stupid. It's just me. That I just hope you guys enjoy it. Last clip of the night. It's out of Judge McBurney's. It's I think it's a probation revocation.
Someone to help you, I'll go with you.
Yeah, I'd like to supervise that.
Yeah, but that DCS is assuming responsibility for transporting Mr. Prentice.
Yeah, in this instance, yes, we'll make sure that he is back.
Okay.
So the only thing that we need to happen is we need to leave the warrant in place.
And he is probation officer Denzel Washington. He sounds just like Denzel.
I'm not moving anything now that I'm more educated. There are times when what seems like an easy fix doesn't work because of important rules that are in place. And you've helped me understand that the easy fix of I can see Mr. Prentice right now, and I know we can hear each other because he was about to start on a presentation I've heard before. But even though we're that close virtually, this is not the right setting in which to conduct the business that needs to be conducted. Because I could do.
In this case, it's a mandatory because he's got family there.
Okay. Got it.
We'll support his plan of supervision.
Okay.
And just in addition to that, he'd be eligible for mandatory recording instructions. Assuming that he's incarcerated for over 6 months.
So if you've got roots where you're trying to go, it is mandatory. If it's, hey, I want to try my hand at Hollywood, so I'd like to be supervised in Los Angeles, person's never been to California, no family in California, that would be discretionary for California.
You're not a resident.
Okay, got it. Okay, Ms. Wood.
Judge, I think the only thing that I want to add is obviously it was my intention when we first had this discussion was to avoid all of this. However, I understand what's happening. And I think my biggest concern now is what's going to happen when Mr. Prentice gets back here and after we take care of everything, since all of his family are in the Virgin Islands.
Sure, well, which is why I asked, and what I heard Mr. Moore say is that it would be a mandatory transfer, not a discretionary, and so that once Mr. Prentice takes care of his business in Georgia, which he needs to do, he could reapply as he has before, and the Virgin Islands would not, if they don't want to go to the compact penalty box, they would need to accept the transfer because he has mother, fiance, et cetera, verifiable connections, roots, ties to St. Croix.
So the state.
Your Honor,
Transportation.
one brief caveat to that. That is assuming that those family members will support his plan of supervision, meaning they say he can live with us. If they say he can't live with us and he doesn't have a suitable residence plan or something like that, then they can deny it even though it's mandatory. Gotta have that.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. I noticed, I think I apologize if I mispronounce it. Mr. Orozco is on this call. And if I'm remembering the email chain, he might be or might have been Mr. Prentice's lawyer in the Virgin Islands. One, thank you for joining us. Two, is there anything you want to add?
No, Your Honor. I'm just here as a participant observer. I'm not licensed in Georgia or have any business before the court. I just received a link and didn't want to be in any kind of contempt.
Well, you're not in contempt. Thank you for plugging in. Did I describe you correctly, though? You were at some point the advocate for Mr. Prentice?
Your Honor, I'm a public defender here on the island. I was appointed on a hearing regarding the transfer, and the judge ordered him removed back in June, I believe.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Got it. Thank you. I don't know who that is. I know it's Vicky. Ms. Shine, are you on for this case or a different case?
I am his mom.
Oh, hello, Mom.
And this is fiance. I do supervision my son. This probation down here is very harassment with my son. I want to let you know that they're very harassment. They want you to come back up there. That is very wrong. I am lose 2 children already. I'm trying to lose the next one. I am so frustrated with this probation in this Virgin Island. There is harassment. The harassment. If the time is up is coming, why are you keep telling me coming? The boy is living his life. He can't live a peaceful life yet because of this harassment with this probation.
Miss Padilla.
In the BOC, this BOC does not supervise my damn son.
Hey, Miss.
I am so afraid about it. I am so tired.
Okay, all right. I put you on mute for a second. Let me ask one question. I know you're frustrated, and your son has expressed that frustration as well. You heard what Mr. Moore said, that your son, Mr. Prentice, will be able to come back to the Virgin Islands after we take care of business here if his relocation plan, his return plan, is supported by mom, by fiance. Are you ready to have Mr. Prentice back, or were you actually frustrated? I couldn't tell. I know you're frustrated, and you don't need to repeat it, but were you frustrated with Virgin Islands probation, or are you frustrated with your son and you do not want your son back in your house? You got to unmute for a second. There you go. All right, so you're back. Your son is welcome back into your household or his fiance's household. Is that correct?
Yes. He had his own place, living his own place. He being good. I always with my son. I always go and get him to carry where he have to go. It's a probation on the Virgin Island. They don't want no longer with Mr. Prentice. I don't know what they having against my son. Tell me, what they have against my son?
I can't tell you. I don't know, but I look forward to getting your son here real soon so we can take care. He had some pretty serious cases here in Georgia. So, but those are behind him now. We're going to take care of what he needs to take care of. And then my hope for him and for you in particular is that he develops a healthier relationship with Virgin Islands probation, because they're going to be a part of his life potentially. Although the way we resolve it here in Georgia, it may be that does not have to happen anymore. And it sounds like that would make you very happy.
Because you know what happened? When they send him back down, when they send him home, they say Mr. President does not belong to come back to Georgia. Yeah. That's what I know and my understanding. Why they bringing him back again to America?
Well,
in America.
We're all part of the same country. We're all part of the same country, Virgin Islands and Georgia. And I'm just very appreciative that Ms. Nelson made sure that I called upon you. So I'm gonna let you guys go because I need to turn to other business here in the court. But I trust that Mr. Moore will be a man of his word and will make this a priority of his to ensure that Mr. Prentice is back here soon so that we can take care of his business.
So I could know how to, because when he go up there, I'm have to look for the money again, because the first time is I look for the money to bring it back down here.
So Ms. Wood would be a great person to talk to about that. I know you guys have connected, and if you have trouble connecting, I'm sure Ms. Nelson will be helpful in reaching out to you as well. Okay? All right. I thank everyone who was on this call for the Prentice matter. I need to turn to a couple other cases that may be going to trial on Monday. So thank you so much, Mr. Prentice. We will see you soon, okay? Take care.
You want to talk?
All right.
1 second. Afternoon, George. One minute, George, before I leave, but I'll be
30 seconds. Yes, sir.
okay. I quite understand, but I don't understand the reason I'm calling back to face what type of charges, sir.
It's not charges, it's revocation in your two cases. Because you failed to register, remember that we talked about this last time, all the failure to register stuff. That's the alleged violation in your two cases, and you've got a little bit of probation left on both. And for reasons I better understand now, even though it made a whole lot of sense to have that revocation hearing with you where you are and me where I am, that's not what the Virgin Islands has decided they want to have happen. And we need to respect we need to accept their choice. And so that's how it's going to play out.
Might be helpful to also include that the revocation or the violations that were on the first petition that we previously dealt with are not the violations that are on the petitions. They're different.
Are they, and we need to deal with both? There are two sets of violations? Because I have two.
I guess we're going to have to do all of it when it gets back. Because apparently this hearing that we had previously could not have happened. So I don't know if the warrant cancellation is invalid because of that. There's some collateral stuff going on there. But I just want to get clear that the violation.
I'm gonna pass out one day.
Is not the violation from the earlier petitions.
It's the plea in the Virgin Islands. Got
That's
it.
the basis for the violation on 614 warrants.
Okay, got it.
Different from the first one.
Got it. Okay. So that's the other reason. So that was more than 30 seconds, Mr. Prentice, but we will see you soon. We will work through all this. And my goal, and I think Ms. Wood can help us make sure it happens, is that we structure the revocation so that you don't need to come back to Georgia again unless you and your fiance are on your honeymoon and you want your honeymoon to be in Atlanta, okay?
We're trying to get married as soon as possible. That's
Good.
Home.
This is a family
Excellent. Well,
affair.
I wish you the best on that. I bet you guys will have a wonderful relationship. If you got married in Atlanta, I'd be happy to be the officiant.
Judge boyfriend.
Happy to be the officiant
McBurney.
in Virgin Islands. I just can't
Judge
marry people
McBurney.
in the Virgin Islands. All right. Well, thank you so much. We will see everyone soon.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, guys, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed the live. Hope you enjoyed the clips. I'm going to be doing the top 5 daily clips. If maybe we'll expand it to 10. Overlays coming. Interactive polls are coming. Changing the format. Blowing up LawTube. Doing it a whole new way. Guys, I love and appreciate every one of you, and I thank you so much for tuning in every night. It's the highlight of my day. I enjoy doing everything. I really appreciate it. Have a good night, and I'll see everyone tomorrow.